never been the kind of person to believe in the paranormal. Ghost stories were just that, stories. But something happened last winter that I can't explain, and ever since, I haven't been able to sleep through the night without checking the clock. It all started when I moved into a small rental house just outside Spokane. I was starting fresh, new job, new town, new life. The house was old, built in the 1940s, with creaky floors and heavy wooden doors. It wasn't fancy, but it had charm, and more importantly, it was affordable. The first 2 weeks were uneventful. I unpacked, settled in, and focused on getting used to my new routine. The neighborhood was quiet. My closest neighbors were an elderly couple across the street who rarely came outside. I worked late most days and often didn't get home until after 9 p.m. Then one night, I woke up suddenly. My eyes snapped open, and I felt disoriented. I didn't know why I was awake, but something felt off. I rolled over and looked at the alarm clock beside my bed. 3:17 a.m. I sighed and turned over, trying to go back to sleep. But then I heard it, a soft knock at the front door. I froze. I wasn't expecting anyone. Who would be at my door at 3:17 in the morning? I stayed in bed for a moment, hoping it was just my imagination. But then it came again. Knock, knock, knock. Slow, deliberate. Like someone wasn't in a hurry, but knew exactly what they were doing. Still lying in bed, I strained to hear more. No footsteps, no voices, just silence. I grabbed my phone and quietly crept out of bed, tiptoeing to the hallway. From there, I could see the front door through the living room. There was a figure standing on the porch. I stopped cold. He was tall, over 6 feet maybe, and wearing a long coat. His head was slightly tilted, as if he were listening. He didn't knock again. He just stood there. I don't know how long I watched him. 10 seconds? A minute? Before I ducked behind the wall and called 911. The operator answered, and I whispered, "There's someone on my porch." He knocked, but he's just standing there now. I don't know who he is. "Is your door locked?" she asked calmly. "Yes." "Stay on the line. Officers are being dispatched to your address." When I peeked out again, the man was gone. The porch was empty. The police arrived about 10 minutes later. They checked the area but found nothing. No footprints, no signs of forced entry. Just me, shaken and wide awake. They told me it was probably someone drunk or on drugs, maybe looking for the wrong house. "Happens more often than you'd think," one of the officers said. I wanted to believe him. The next few nights were uneventful. I double-checked the locks, started sleeping with a baseball bat beside my bed, and tried to shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Then it happened again. 3:17 a.m. I woke up, my eyes wide open, heart pounding, and before I could even reach for my phone, I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. Same rhythm, same quiet pressure behind it. I leapt out of bed and ran to the window, staying out of sight. He was back. This time, he was standing closer to the door, facing directly at it. I still couldn't make out his face. Something about the porch light cast deep shadows over his features. I called the police again. But just like before, by the time they arrived, he was gone. I installed a security camera the next day. That night, I sat up watching the live feed on my phone, heart racing as the clock crept toward 3 a.m. I didn't want to sleep. I wanted proof. 3:17. There he was. On the screen, I watched as he walked slowly up my steps and stood in front of the door. He didn't knock this time. He just stared at it, unmoving. For 8 straight minutes, he stood there, then turned and walked away into the dark. I saved the footage and showed it to the police the next day. They took it seriously this time. One of the officers even stayed parked outside the house the next night, but the visitor didn't come. And for 2 weeks after that, nothing happened. Until I got the note. It was a plain envelope, slipped under the front door while I was at work. No name, no address. Just a single piece of paper inside, with one sentence written in neat handwriting. "Why don't you answer when I knock?" I stared at the paper, my skin crawling. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to stay there anymore, but moving wasn't something I could afford at the moment. I emailed my landlord and told him what was happening. He seemed genuinely concerned, and even offered to install extra locks and motion lights. I also decided to stay with a coworker for a few nights, but curiosity got the better of me. On the third night, I went back to the house. I had to know if he'd come again. This time I was ready. I had my phone recording, lights on, and the bat in hand. I sat in the dark, watching the door from the hallway. 3:17 a.m. Nothing. Minutes passed. I was just about to breathe a sigh of relief when I heard the back door creak open. I hadn't checked it. I sprinted to the kitchen, heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. The door was ajar, just slightly. I slammed it shut and locked it, chest heaving. I turned around, and he was inside, standing in the hallway, just beyond the dim glow of the kitchen light. His face was wrong. It looked too smooth, like a mannequin. No eyebrows, no expression, just wide, empty eyes staring at me. I couldn't move. He took one step forward, then another, and then he spoke. "You can see me now." His voice was flat, emotionless. It wasn't loud, but it echoed in my skull like it had been shouted. I ran. I didn't think, didn't grab anything. I just sprinted out the front door and into the street, screaming. The police found no signs of forced entry. No fingerprints. Nothing was stolen or moved. The footage? Corrupted. That night's file was blank, like it had never recorded. I moved out the next day. I don't know what he was. A spirit, a demon, something worse. I just know he was real. And sometimes, when I wake up at night and glance at the clock, my heart stops when I see the time.